welcome to the Fun Facts Club. Today we will be discussing some fun facts about yoga. Before we get started, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more daily fun facts and give the video a thumbs up if you learned something new. Thank you. The ancient, sacred practice that originated thousands of years ago has been gradually diluted down into what more resembles gymnastics and stretching. Asana, the physical postures, are a small part of what yoga encompasses. Meditation, pranayama, breathing techniques, chanting, and living a life of meaning, purpose, and kindness are also very much part of yoga. Not only do the postures help to strengthen muscles and remove tension, the breathing practices encourage us to take in more oxygen, boosting circulation and improving the body's function. As we start to slow down the movements and the breath, the body's functions such as oxidation, acidity, and cell damage slows down too, which also means it has time to repair and renew itself, preventing and essentially slowing down the aging process. Yoga was traditionally a practice for men. Women were only introduced after revered teacher Krishnamacharya allowed his wife to join practices. Soon after, Indra Devi became the first well-known yoga teacher, and even taught Marilyn Monroe. For many years after, men were a rare sighting in a yoga class. The boys are back in town now though, with the introduction of Broga, Yoga for Bros. Founder Matt Miller is a former American footballer, bodybuilder, and personal trainer, and says, Broga looks at yoga from a male sensibility. It's strong, energetic, and challenging. And it's totally okay if you can't touch your toes. New styles of yoga are popping up all over the place, and there are now over 100 different schools of yoga. This ranges from the more traditional Tantra, Ashtanga, Sivananda, and good old Hatha, to rocket yoga, laughter yoga, aerial yoga, equine yoga, and paddleboard yoga. Yep, dogs do yoga too now, didn't you know? After all, most of the postures are named after animals, plants, and aspects of nature, and Adho Mukha Svanasana or downward-facing dog is no exception. In Doga, owners and pets practice side by side. The practice first started in New York in 2002 when Susie Teitelman started yoga for dogs. Dao Porchon Lynch was born August 13, 1918 and is a French-Indian yogi. She's also a dancer, a former model and actress, and continues to teach worldwide. In May 2012, Guinness World Records recognized her as the world's oldest yoga instructor when she was just 93. Rumor has it she loves wine too, so there's still an excuse to drink that glass after class. There are multiple studies showing that yoga can help to improve your sex drive. Engaging Mula Bandha or the root lock requires the yogi to lift the perineum, as though you're trying to hold in an urgent pee, thus bringing more circulation and awareness to the nether regions. By practicing this regularly and remembering to switch it on while having sex, it's said the practitioner is able to greatly increase the feeling of an orgasm. And not just because everyone is having sex. Yoga makes us feel so good that back in 2012, 10% of adults in the US were practicing. That's a lot of people if you consider the population back then was 314.1 million people. Imagine what it must be today. Hot nude yoga is a thing. For anyone brave enough to bear all on the mat, you're not alone as the practice is growing in popularity amongst men and women in the East and West. Practicing yoga while naked actually originates from a very ancient tradition called Naga yoga, in which Naga sadhus would make being naked a part of their spiritual practice. Naked yoga is said to deepen a person's practice and encourages appreciation and body acceptance. If you're not a sadhu though, you can put your clothes back on after class, thanks. There's a company called Yoga Bun. Yes. They sell towels in case you're wondering. That the yoga clothing giant Lululemon's brand value was about $1.69 billion in 2013, and at the last check in 2014, they had 280 stores worldwide. This is huge compared to how big yoga was in the fashion world several years ago. Stores like Gap and H&M got the hint too, and have started to promote more active style clothing, mixing yoga pants with casual wear. They must know we wear our yoga pants all the time. The yama, or moral vow, of ahimsa, meaning non-violence, includes not harming or indeed eating other living animals. It's also said though, that as meat is dead, there's no prana or life force energy within it. A yoga practice is intended to enhance our prana, life force energy, so eating something that doesn't benefit this can be considered detrimental to the practice. Plus, no one feels like doing handstands and twists after a double cheeseburger. Nadis or energy channels are said to run through the body, carrying that prana or life force with them. There are 72,000 nadis, and you could think of them a little like esoteric veins, carrying energy throughout us. The largest is the sushumna, which resides along the spine and provides the channel through which we're encouraged to send this energy in order to reach enlightenment. Telling ourselves we're not very flexible has a definite effect on how flexible we are. By stepping into a yoga class and telling ourselves we're not flexible, we set ourselves up to be rigid and stiff, as this is all we put our focus on. In turn, this makes us feel more stressed, uncomfortable and fearful, which triggers the stress response, triggering muscle contractions, raised blood pressure. By relaxing and putting the focus on the breath, the body automatically starts to physically relax too, enabling for far greater range of movement and flexibility. Try it. If all the pushing and jaw clenching hasn't made your hamstrings any longer, this might just do the trick. A large amount of traditional yogic practices focus upon improving digestive health in order to rid the body of impurities so we're able to put more energy into reaching samadhi, bliss or enlightenment. The posture Apanasana involves hugging the knees to the chest and dynamically squeezing them into and away from the torso. Apanasana translates as wind-relieving pose, and it's highly effective, so you might want to practice it at home first. A traditional greeting, Namaste, is usually said at the end of class, and literally translates as the light in me bows to the light in you, symbolizing a mutual respect between each of us, and a recognition of our deeper similarities, rather than gross differences. Savasana does not equal snooze time. Also known as corpse pose, this position is intended to rest the body and nervous system in order to allow the practice to consolidate within us.